Alright guys, what's going on? So I'm back with another video. You guys read the title. Today is going to be a video that's in tribute to National Mental Health Awareness Day. I posted on my story, I believe yesterday is the day before, on Instagram. Link is down below if you guys don't already follow me. Um, telling you guys that I was going to be doing this video. So this is going to be a pretty short video for the most part. I got a 1 1/4 joint. Let's get this thing sparked up and get to talking. So the whole kind of thesis or whatever with this video is not necessarily to be like a story time, but to kind of give you guys a space to talk. Because I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, in the last little while, maybe last few weeks, let me just put my phone on vibrate here. Sorry guys. Not sure if you guys heard that. I've seen somebody go through quite a bit mentally, and it hurt me to think that there's really not much that I could do aside from really just console them, talk to them and stuff. And I'm not naming names, but essentially, it was sad. So I was on Instagram a couple weeks ago, and I seen a certain individual. I'm not going to get into details because I'll give away who it is. Let me not do it like that. Let me. Just toast the joint a bit. Cheers. So I was on Instagram a couple weeks ago, and I noticed a certain individual just posted on a story, and they were crying. You could tell the person had gone through some kind of just bullshit in their life, and it just, whether it was recently at that time they went through something, or they have been going through something, and it's gotten worse. Nonetheless, this person ended up posting on their storyline, and I seen the guy was crying. It bothered me in a sense. Not that I felt bothered like, oh, this guy's doing this for attention, but bothered by the fact that I've been in this situation, in the sense of I know exactly what it's like to feel worthless. I know exactly what it's like to feel like you don't have any reason to live for. I know exactly what that's like, and I don't know exactly why he's feeling like this, but that to me isn't the root of why I'm doing this. The root of why I'm doing this is because, as a guy at least, I know growing up, I was not the kind of person, I'm still not the kind of person to be super open about, my emotions and stuff and things that are on my mind. And unfortunately, that's not the right, that's not right. It's wrong that I'm like that. And, sorry, I got a Sue Scott. And, by the way, this thing is, oh wow, it's already starting to rise up. Look at that. So, when I seen this guy like that, and I messaged him, I was like, hey man, I was going through some stuff, some mood swings these last few weeks, and from time to time I go through that. Right? For those of you guys who don't know, this is the thing, when you guys hear, and it's very true, when you guys see people say, oh, social media doesn't really show the bad side of people's lives, it only shows the best. And, or at least the good side of things. And it's very true. I don't like bringing up my personal life to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's certain things, I will. But for the most part, I don't like bringing up, like my personal life in terms of, like, the drama and all the shit that's going on, because you guys really don't need to know about that stuff the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that's not stuff you really post about. But when somebody does post about something that's bothering them, like the way this person did, they're reaching out. I can tell they want help, and it's not a sign of weakness. That is a sign of strength, in my opinion, that you are going through such troubled times and you still have the courage to go and post on social media about what you're going, not about what you're going through, but like give people a glimpse and be like, wow, you know what, I would have never thought this guy, unless you know the person well enough, I would have never thought this guy's going through that. Really shows people that, for one, how do I say this? Everybody goes through these kind of things. It's not just me. It's not just you. Everybody goes through these kind of things to some varying degree. And, oh, by the way, if you guys are wondering, I'm smoking a little bit of some Purple Space cookies. Um, I just realized that light's not on. Why? Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I just now realized my shop light's bulb burnt out, so I gotta go to the hardware store and buy another one. But it doesn't wipe those ashes are. So I've been reaching out to this guy every so often to kind of check up on him because honestly, I know when I was going through that, I was 12 years old, the first time I ever really felt suicidal. And I'm not going to get into detail about it. It was a family thing that was going on, and I really didn't have anybody other than my mom to go to, and I just didn't want to burden my mom just with everything that I was thinking about. And, you know, sometimes I'll be honest with you guys, I think when it comes to a guy having mental health problems, it is more than, oh, this guy just doesn't have anybody to talk to or he doesn't want to talk about it. It's sometimes, it may be something specific to just you and your family. Or, for instance, I know a friend of mine, on her birthday, she was really sad about the fact that her sister and her mom, I believe, if I remember correctly, they didn't wish her happy birthday or they didn't call her or whatever. And I told her at some point in your life, she's married. Wonderful girl. Woman. She's older than I am. Husband is an amazing guy. They're both very amazing people, and I love them as if they were my own family. And I told her at some point you're gonna have to realize that you gotta look for what's best for your husband and you because of the fact a lot of people this and I understand this as much as I would love to have my whole family in communication with each other. I would love to still be able to talk to my family. I don't talk to my extended family or even my close family because of the fact that honestly sometimes I feel it's not even worth the try to make a new bond. And so I told her, I said, listen, you know what? You got to realize that even though I understand culturally where she's from, it's very common, and I mean very common, that family sticks together in the sense of not just literally like the family's there, but the family continues to talk to each other. The family, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, and it's so sad how many of my friends that I know that have issues within their family that, some parts of the family don't talk to other parts, and that's the part that hurts me. That's something that I don't want anybody to have gone through, but unfortunately it's very common. And that is a part of mental health. I think knowing, like, for instance, with me, sometimes when I get depressed, I think, I wish I can go and call up one of my cousins or my uncles or my aunts. I'm not really close to them. My older cousin I'm kind of close to, but I'm not as close to him as I would like to be, and that goes for both my cousins, both my first cousins. I don't talk to my dad's side of the family whatsoever, and the chance of me ever really getting into contact with them is very, like, very slim due to personal reasons. And unfortunately, that's something that I've come. Whoops, sorry guys. That I've come to a realization with in life that it probably may not ever happen. And when I sorry guys, I have to cough and lung out there. When I see stuff like that, like I was saying about my friend with her mom and her sister, I told her you got to realize what's best for you and your husband. At the end of the day, like I said, I understand culturally it's very very common that the family doesn't just stop talking to each other. It's not apparently that's I don't know how to explain it, but like you don't ever want to just say, listen, fuck, I wish I could just not talk to my family. I wish my family was assholes. Nobody's like that. Everybody wants their family to be in their life, but unfortunately, like many people, myself, maybe you, a lot of my friends, their family is just not there for them supportive wise the way they should be. So I told her, I was like, listen, you know what? There's no point in stressing yourself out about this because at the end of the day, you got to realize when you need them, if they're not there for you, that's not how family is. This is why I don't consider a friendship based off of just how long we've known each other. Because I'm very close to this girl as well as one of the other girls I used to work with in the same store. As if, and to the point, like, if they needed anything, I would go to the world and back for them. I'm like that with all my friends. It doesn't matter how long I've known you. I'm like that with anybody. But you have to show me that it's worth, like, you want that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some of my friends that honestly at their age, some of my friends are older than me. Some of my friends are close to their 30s. So that being said, at their age, if they don't show me that they're responsible enough at that, there's really no point in me helping because you don't want that for yourself. And it's not a matter of, oh, I'm being selfish. It's a matter of you have to be realistic. If you're going to be in your 30s or even in your mid 20s, or even at my age, I'm in my like early 20s and shit. Despite that, yo motherfuckers say I sound like I'm 40. It comes down to the fact that, hey, listen, you know what? Sometimes people just, they're not going to be there for you as much as you want them to be. I would love my dad to be in my life, but unfortunately, that's not really going to ever happen. Even if it happens 10, 15 years from now or even soon, I don't really know that I would ever let that bond, as much as I would want that to be a thing. I don't know that I would ever really want that after all these years, not having a dad in my life, learning shit the hard way. You know what? I really don't know that I would even accept that. Now, as a part of what I was saying with my friend and her mom and sister and whoever, keeping in contact with somebody just for the sake of culturally having your family together is not worth it. Um, Doing what's best for you and your family in the sense of, excuse me, if you have a loved one, let's say you're married or you have a girlfriend, I would really more consider this if I was married rather than a girlfriend, unless we're considering marriage. And I'm not saying like, oh, like 4 or 5 months in, we're gonna get married. I personally, that I don't think, unless you, maybe, I don't really know. I'm not gonna even get into that, bro, but this shit's resonating like fucking crazy. Look at that. So, excuse me. For anybody who's watching this, and you guys are really struggling to keep your family bond very strong, I would really consider like so many different things. For one, I'm not gonna say when you need your family are they there for you regardless, and I mean like for like sometimes you may go to your family or a loved one or whoever for money or something, and they say no. Like I mentioned, it's not necessarily that you're a fool if you're gonna go and help somebody out that really doesn't want it for themselves, and then not expect to get hurt by that or whatever. Hopefully, you guys understand what I'm trying to say. You're the one that's a bit foolish. You're the one that's being a little bit stupid here because you have to be realistic. Like I said earlier, the person that you're helping, are they somebody that really is going to take what you're doing for them in a like in a good way, or are they just going to like kind of like use you, and then once you help them, they don't really try to like hold up their part of the deal, right? They don't hold up their end of the bargain. And a lot of people, unfortunately, in this generation, myself maybe included, I can't make that judgment for myself, do not act responsible for their age. Yeah, I may talk about stupid shit. I might act a little bit stupid or really stupid or silly or like an idiot on these videos, but at the end of the day, I feel I'm pretty level headed when it comes to giving advice. I feel like I've never had somebody say, no, I don't think what you said was right in terms of advice that I've given. I've never had somebody say that. And look at this stuff. Look at how shiny that res is. Um, you know, I think personally, when it comes to this mental health awareness, a lot of people, females, man, you guys go through a lot of shit too. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's just guys, because honestly, the one thing that I think guys have a problem with in terms of being a guy emotionally is we're taught from a young age that it's wrong for a guy to show emotion. It's wrong for a guy to cry. It's wrong for a guy to be open with his feelings. and you're supposed to bottle things up. Because if not, you're considered less masculine, or fuck it, some parents will even consider you gay if you cry. I know, for instance, growing up, my dad, even though he was not in my life, he never cried in front of me. And I'm not saying that as a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying he never cried in front of me. I've only seen my dad cry. Not that I've seen my dad that fucking much, but I've only seen him cry twice. In the maybe about 6 or 7 years that I've really, if I can combine all the months, I would say it's about 6 or 7 years that I saw my dad. I'm 23, just to give you guys an idea. You know, it hurts me, yeah, but you know what? Some parents are just, some people are not meant to be parents. Just because you're a dad doesn't mean you're a father. I don't remember who it was, one of my friends told me that, but I feel like that is so fucking true. Just because you're a dad doesn't mean that you are a father. Two different things. Just because you have a kid doesn't mean you're a parent. I'll put that as a more broad version of what I just said. And when you realize the fact that some people, male or female, are just going to be, everybody deals with things differently. You know what I'm saying? For me, one of my biggest stresses right now is the fact that I haven't been working since March. I haven't been making an income. I haven't been on somebody's payroll since March. So that being said, the fact that we're going back into a stage 2 lockdown here in Toronto and other parts of the province of Ontario, Canada, you know, many people are stressed out. This thing of the masks and how out of proportion people are making it, I think is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Am I 100% pro mask? No. I understand why some people make certain points about having to wear masks being stupid, but fuck it. I'm not going to waste my breath arguing with somebody, because where do we go? Nowhere. Where it doesn't make a valid point or a statement if all they're going to do is cause bickering. If you're going to make a statement, you know, that's, you got to be saying this to people that are actually going to be able to fucking understand what you're saying. You arguing with somebody because they believe the opposite of you, that's not the way to do that. So, that being said, a lot of people don't realize, you know, like I was saying with women earlier, I really actually didn't even get into that. When it comes to a woman and their mental health, I feel like a lot of women, I think this is my thing. Seeing, I'm bringing up my generation because I'm not going to comment on, you know, my mom's generation or a future generation, although I think the future generation is pretty fucked, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to, you know, go all out and comment on that. I'm going to comment on my own generation because that's my generation. Based off of what I've seen, off of my generation, when I say my generation, I mean, like, even if they're, like, kids that are, like, in their, like, preteen, but at my young age, and I'm seeing other people that are around the young age, you know, in the 30s, whatever, I don't think that everybody was raised equally. And unfortunately, that can mean so many different things. But what I mean by that is the fact that you may be raised by two wonderful parents and still turn out to be a fucking, like, a reject. And as blunt and as sad as that is to say, that's the fucking truth. Some people do not want the help as much as people are willing to help them. You know, and like when it comes to women, the main thing that I notice the difference between men and women mentally, women are much stronger in some cases than men. Like for instance, I can't go and I can't imagine having to raise a kid on my own. Like I'm not saying there's like no single fathers, but it's more common, more common, at least what I hear, to hear of a single mother. Sorry guys, my light turned out. From a single mother to be raising a kid. Like for instance, I was raised by a single mom. I can't imagine. I know kind of what my mom went through while she was raising me, so I can kind of understand. But I will never understand what it's like in her shoes, going through that as her. And that's something I think women deal with abuse way better than men do sometimes. Sometimes. I mean, like, you know, it's common to hear of domestic violence amongst women. I've never really, I don't hear it too often amongst men, but it is still a thing. Now, I only got a few hits off of this fucking road. My whole point to this, guys, is you have to realize sometimes the only person that can help you is you. I remember when I was suicidal, when I went through that really, really long phase of depression, it was very, difficult for me to be positive. It was difficult for me to wake up in the morning and think, you know what, today's going to be a good day, because the only thing that I could think of was the things that were wrong. Being pessimistic, and I'm not saying that you're a bad person if you're being pessimistic, but it is definitely a bad thing if you can't get out of that rut, and it's because of the way you have an outlook on life. So we're gonna take another crackhead shot of this. All I'm trying to say, guys, is you guys gotta help yourself. Unfortunately, in this society, especially this last few months, I've seen it, and it's so sad. It really is so sad. It hurts me. Society is not going to help you. You have to help yourself before anybody else will help you. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to only wait for somebody else to help you and not try to help yourself, nobody's going to do that. Like I said earlier, sorry guys, nobody wants to help somebody that doesn't want to help himself. If you are willing to help somebody but they're not willing to accept that and actually use what you're doing to better themselves, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I might do a live later on Instagram, kind of touch up on what I touched up on in this video. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, you guys don't understand what it means to me. I just reached 10 subs, which is a very small number, but a big milestone for me, because it means that I can only get better from here. And whenever you guys comment on my videos, whether it be here on YouTube or on Instagram, again, down below is a link. I love that. I love cleaning TikTok with you guys. So if you guys want to add me to your group chats, I'm only mentioning this now because one of you guys, actually two of you guys now, have added me to a group chat within the weed community or whatever, and not within the weed community, but on the Metro Weed Man on Instagram. So if you guys want to add me to your group chats, please make sure it's not something immature. Like if you guys are a bunch of 15-year-olds, that's not going to happen. Just realize, guys, you have to do better for yourself, and you can only get better from here. I know it's easier said than done. I mean, if I've gone through it and I've succeeded, and somebody else has gone through and succeeded, you can go through and succeed with this shit. You have to be a strong-willed person, man or woman. It doesn't matter. I don't look at men are better or worse than it. As each, whether it be male or female, each gender has its own perspective, pros and cons in terms of the mentality, the way that they think, the way that we act. And you know what? Some people don't realize how important it is to be a friend and not just there. Some people don't realize, and I'm saying this off of personal experience, guys. A lot of the friends, you guys hear the story times. A lot of the people that I hang out with in high school or even in elementary, I don't talk to them. Majority of them, only really a handful of my friends that are like my day ones, I still talk to. It hurts me. Now, to wrap this video up again, like I was saying earlier, thank you guys so much for watching. I kind of almost got off topic there. I don't want this video to be too lengthy. But yeah, if you guys have any stories you guys would like to share, down below in the comment section. Or you guys can DM me, you guys can email me. If you guys ever need somebody to talk to, I will always be there for you. Now, keep in mind, again, I'm taking this shit pretty seriously. So, if you're going to clown around, don't bother. But anyways, guys, until next time, smoke on.